Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it's Thursday, and we're getting close to the holiday weekend. I won't be here. I'm actually going to take a little vacation trip down to Austin, but I won't be here. I won't be back. I'll be here on Friday tomorrow, but I won't be back until Thursday. So, but of course, I'm always available by email. So don't worry about that. Anybody in the Discord room, I'll be monitoring it with my mobile. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you could just put it in there. And hey, it's kind of a mixed bag. I just want to kind of just go over a few things and then just take some questions, and it's really your show. So I want to turn it over to everybody. So basically, just kind of show you where the market is currently. We are, let's see, there we go. We're in a confirmed uptrend, which is a good thing. It's kind of holding steady, but the key level here, it's kind of gone sideways a little bit, but the key level here is that we're over 14,000, so that's very good. The S&P 500 is up, which is good. The Dow Jones is up. The volume's a little bit low, but that's not unusual based on the fact that we're coming into a holiday weekend. So here's the thing you want to kind of get ready for. Many of the day traders are probably going to sell their positions going into the holidays, and then so don't be surprised if there's a pullback tomorrow, just because that's kind of the way it. That's kind of the way it goes sometimes. I mean, before a big holiday weekend, people don't want to take that over. They don't want to take that risk. And so what they do is that they sell their positions and then they buy them back on Monday. So here's the thing that we could possibly benefit from that. We may be very likely to see a pullback tomorrow, but then I think we might see a very nice increase. So just beware of that. That's kind of how a lot of times it'll trade into a holiday weekend. But the overall market looks pretty good. The volume is low, but that's not unexpected coming into a holiday weekend. A lot of people just take off, and the volumes are lower in the summer than they are in the winter. But this is looking good. We seem like we have coming back into some of the techs. Oils are doing well, and so I just kind of want to show you my small portfolio configuration. Now, most of my positions are half positions. You can see these kind of like small pizza slices here. As you can see, there's 8 full positions. I have 3 full positions in DocuSign. It's done really well. Then I have 2 full positions in CrowdStrike. I might be getting rid of that one. Don't know, but I bought it correctly. We'll just see. We'll give it a little bit of time, see how it's doing. Of course, I bought into Microsoft right at the buy point. So that's looking pretty decent. This is a slow and steady rinse the race kind of stock. Not terribly exciting, but it's not a bad one. Blackstone Minerals, this is my oil. It's done pretty well today. I pushed my stop loss up on it. I have a stop loss on this one currently at 1050. So if you're in this one, you might want to push your stop loss off a little bit, up a little bit, and capture some of that profit, because it's probably likely to pull back, but if you're pushing that stop loss up, you're going to capture that great profit. I'm also in L Brands. That's up today. For some reason, people love shoes. You probably have seen the Shoe Carnival. What's happening with Shoe Carnival? I mean, why would you be interested in Shoe Carnival other than it's splitting 2 for 1, and they just declared a very nice dividend. It's kind of a boring stock. I'll be the first to admit this. They're not changing the world. They're not setting the world on fire. But if you've got kids and you want to get some shoes at a good price, it's a good place. Actually, the mall right next to my house has a Shoe Carnival, so that's where I buy my tennis shoes. pretty unexciting, but hopefully that will move up. I have several spreads in this. I don't actually have the shares, but I do have the I do have some contracts on this. I did reduce one. I had a put contract, but I also have a call contract too, which I didn't publish out. I just didn't get time to publish it to everybody out on the Discord room. Hopefully, hopefully I'll get around. I've got to get a little more disciplined on publishing the stuff that I'm in. So, but I closed half of it for small profit. Hopefully, I just wanted to reduce my risk a little bit coming into the weekend. But I'm still in the trade, about 5 contracts, 5 put contracts, and it's a bull put spread on that. So, and I think I've posted out on the sheets. I think you can see that this spread, so you can kind of take a look at kind of where I'm at on that. But anyways, this is the overall allocation. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, this is my new mug. Well, our new mug for Dallas Trading Floor, and it's a beautiful mug. It'll be coming out here about the 7th. So I just have not that many of them, but just thought I would try to sell them essentially at cost, because I needed a few from around here, and this might be a good way to get it. If you're interested in the mug, super easy. Just go to my profile, click the link, and then you'll see the thing. It'll take you to beacons, and then just scroll down. I think it's the second item on the list, and just punch that, and you can order one if you'd like. All right, so let's take. Oh, I have a few more things to do. Of course, this is the mug. I just want to show that to everybody. By the way, that is available if you're on the if you're on the looking at this on YouTube. It's easy to get to, but you can't go. Unfortunately, can't go to the beacon. So, what you can do. Let's see. Did I get it in? Yeah. What you can do here is just go to this address, https colon / bit.ly bit.ly/DTF _ mug. So that's to order the mug there. So if you're interested in it, of course. All right. So let's get into some of the questions here. Thanks for everybody holding. I hope everyone is doing well. I know I am, so it's a good day, hopefully. Donut. Huh, this is interesting. DNUT. I guess that's donut. I don't know this one. I wonder if this is, let's see. Okay. I think I may have solved my problem with some of my technical issues, so hopefully this is coming to you loud and clear. I was just having some awful problems yesterday. Couldn't figure out, what I was doing wrong, and fortunately somebody in the chat on TikTok said turn off the Bluetooth, and I think that was the problem. I really do. Again, a little technically challenged here, so sometimes I don't quite get it right, and it's not as fun to look at when I don't get it right technically. So here we go. Krispy Kreme. Unfortunately, I've been at Krispy Kreme far too many times, but let's take a look at Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is one of those things. It's sort of a big deal if you live in the South. It's for those who are uninitiated. I think they're pretty much everywhere. Kind of like Dunkin' is in the Northeast. They have Dunkins here too, but it's a big deal in the Northeast. So, anyways, they just came out. It's interesting. I think this one went private. I'm not sure. Restaurant business is tough. I mean, it looks like it just came out of the gate. Literally, it was an IPO today. Yeah. Okay. And it came up and it came down. This is a real interesting one. Here's what I would do on this one. I would watch list this one until we get a little bit further down the pike, because it's too hard to trade these when they come right out of the right out of the I'm not saying that's not good. I think Krispy Kreme probably is a good stock, but you want to watch list this one right now. It's just too early. It's just too early to do anything here with Krispy Kreme. It does look like it's been trading in this very particular range. I kind of want to look and see what the volume is. That's kind of interesting to me. Let's see if there's any short interest in it or anything like that. That's weird. No. It's just, I think it went private and it's being republicized. There's no short interest in it. The volume looks like the daily volume here is the market cap. Oh, wow, look at that. 3,319,000. Wow. That's a lot of money. There's 79,000 shares in the float almost all of them came out in the first. So let's do a little calculation here. Just this is a kind of a fun thing to do when you get an IPO, is to try to figure out kind of, where it's at in terms of in terms of the oops, go here. In terms of how many shares are outstanding. Oh gosh, we went to, there we go. Just to kind of see how many shares are outstanding. So let's see if I can put that out there. All right, and that new window up here. All right, relaunch those charts. There we go. All right. So let's see if we can get those in to here. Bring this one forward. There we go. So put my handy dandy calculator up there. There we go. All right. Just arranging my windows here for everyone. You can't actually see this, so there we go. All right, now we'll put it up. I'm just taking a look here at Krispy Kreme for everyone that is kind of like wondering what is Jim doing here. What's going on? so here it is. So basically, what's happening here with Krispy Kreme is we had let's see, we had quite a few of the shares come out today. So we the IPO was 55,398,000. No, I'm sorry. It's 55,444,209, and the total float of the issue. The reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to figure out how many shares are treasury shares. And as if you took a finance class in college, you probably know that that some of the shares are going to be held back. They're not going to be part of the original float. So I want to see, based on the IPO, kind of what we're talking about in terms of in terms of the total float. Okay, 70, and this corresponds exactly to 70%. So Krispy Kreme came out of the door with 70% of their shares being sold on the first day, and the 30% are held in reserve for later on. That's the treasury shares. So there basically is a 70% float. So that's going to appear there here in the future. So basically, what I would do with Krispy Kreme right now, it's a good company. It's a very interesting stock it's a very interesting stock. It's got a great symbol, donut. I mean, even I know that. Wow, that's great. But I just think you can't buy it. I think you got to wait. Put it in the watch list. This one might be a good one. Let it form an IPO base, and yeah, when it gets an IPO base, then you can possibly take a look at investing it. But don't invest in it right now. Hey Jim, please talk a little about stock splitting. All right, well, stock splits. If you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I kind of like stock splits. Now, this is another thing that's kind of interesting, because if you talk to an economist, they'll tell you, and as a matter of fact, I've been in finance classes where I had to answer the question, what I consider wrong, but in order to get the right grade. This is years ago. They'll stand up there in front of the class and they'll say, "Well, a stock split, does it affect the value of the stock?" And of course, the correct answer for the textbook is no, because what you're doing is you're just taking the same capital and then you're dividing it into more shares. That's if you have a positive stock split. There's also reverse stock splits too, but I'll talk about those in a second. A regular stock split, you're going to have one share, and then it's going to end up being so many other shares. Like it's going to be 1 for 2 or 1 for 4, or like in the case of NVIDIA, it was 1 for 4. So if you had one share, you got 4. You get 4 after the split, and that for NVIDIA, that's going to happen on July 19th. Well, why do I say that I think that a lot of the professors are wrong on this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because typically the only time that they'll split a stock is when the stock has moved up a lot, and they're very certain, the board is, that going forward they're going to be in a profitable position, probably for the next 6 to 12 months. And indeed, with Shoe Carnival, that's one of the ones that's going to split 2-for-1. Unbeknownst to everybody, it came out with a thing saying, "Hey, we have a great dividend, and we're gonna have a good dividend too." So typically they will not split a stock, at least forward split a stock. Now reverse splits are different, again, if they don't expect the stock to move up. So here's the fascinating thing about stock splits. Typically speaking, on the day of the stock split announcement, you'll see the price go up a lot, and then it'll pull back, and then people will start acquiring those stocks to split. Now, typically, the stock will appreciate up until the day of the stock split, and then after it splits and starts trading after the split, if it starts trading, it usually will trade down. It will retreat. And you say, well, Jim, why is that? Well, here's why. Let's say, for instance, you had the trade desk. That's another one that split 10-for-1 just recently. A symbol is TTD. Basically, what happened there was that it started, when it was announced, it started to go up, and then after it split, it came down. And you say, why? Well, because people that have maybe one share and they get 10 shares, they're going to sell off part of their portfolio just because they want to balance it. They want to take some profits. So that typically will pull the stock back. But usually, if the stock is very strong, after the day that it starts trading as split shares, which it will retreat, then you can wait typically a week or so and then buy it again, because it's probably going to be continuing that upward trend, especially if it's in a good area. So stock splits can be a very, very good way to predict. It's a very predictable move. The funny thing in stock market is that there are some very, very predictable moves out there that are great, and others not so much. But the stock split is definitely one of the great moves, and so it's a good time to take advantage of this. NVIDIA is going to be splitting 4-for-1, and that's a good that's a very good opportunity as well. So let me take a look at some of the questions from TikTok. What is your strategy, and what is the best stock you've read to implement the strategy? Okay, well, I have a number of strategies. I like to use the stock split strategy. Of course, everybody knows that. I also like to look and see if the stock is trading below. If the stock is doing a reversal, that's another one of my favorite strategies. And I also have several other ones. And just so keep on looking at the show, and I'll try to present as many of these as I can. Now, if you're looking on TikTok, you can just jump right over to the show. We're broadcasting live right now on YouTube. Just go to my profile, click the link, and then scroll down, and you'll see the box that is showing the YouTube right now. So just punch on that, and you'll see the charts and everything. Unfortunately, I can only do static pictures on TikTok. And as you can see, this is our very exciting mug here that I have going there. It's kind of, it's just something to put up there. All right. Okay. Oh, here we go. Why can't use Discord? Okay. 70% per company owned, I believe. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Interesting ones. Let's see. Talk a little bit about Tesla. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Tesla, because it has just reversed, and I want to kind of take a look at it, how it's trading today. So, pulling up Tesla right now. So I'm going to go to the daily chart, put that up for everybody, and you can't unfortunately see this on TikTok, but you can definitely see this on YouTube. So here is the chart for Tesla. As you can see, we're in this very tight area. I've put a line here, and this is the line which I do think that if it moves above this, I think then you can start moving into maybe a quarter position on this. Right now, there's resistance right about the 680 level. So what I would do if I wanted to get back into Tesla, and I'm not in it right now, is at about 704 is where I think there's some resistance. So here's what I would do with that. I would set a buy stop limit order, and I'm going to do this for Tesla, and I'm just going to put this up on the screen. TSLA. I would set a buy stop limit order for basically 704, and then plus 10 cents for 704.10. So that's kind of where I would be looking to get in back into Tesla, and that's right about at this this line here. Okay, my little cursor, you can see it. It's right about it. It's right about this line. So as you can see, there's kind of a tight pattern here. When the overhead supply is exhausted, and that's part of the overhead supply, then it will move above that. And if it moves above that on volume, the reason I put the price is slightly above where it is in a tight pattern like this is because in order to punch through this ceiling, it needs to have a lot of volume. Right now, there's not a lot of volume down here. You know, there's relatively lower volume than normal. So that's telling me that you know, we're running through the inventory of people that are going to sell, and eventually this inventory will drop. And that's really kind of what we want. That's kind of what we want to see. Eventually, you'll see these red bars drop. Okay, and what's happening there is that as they're dropping, there's fewer and fewer people that are willing to sell. And when it drops down, then if there's a buyers come in, you'll see it punch through this line. So that's the reason why I think that we might have a very good opportunity with a buy stop limit order. Now you got to be patient on this one because it's not probably going to happen today or tomorrow, and it may not even happen next week. But I definitely think it's going to happen. So 407 is kind of the 704. A little dyslexic there. 704 plus 10 cents or 704.10. That's kind of where I'm looking possibly to buy Tesla. All right, so let's look at pins. Thanks, Samuel, for that. Pinterest is one I'm very interested in as well. I want to put probably a buy stop in this one as well. This one is buyable right now, by the way. Pinterest is buyable right now. It's right in the buy zone. It's trading right at the 21-day exponential. Now, would I buy it at this price? Well, yes, but I'm always a yes but guy, kind of. But what I would do is I would wait until it moves a little bit above this 26.49. So why would I do that? Because that's the higher high, and as you can see, we've had a lot of volume. So there's been a lot of selling. People have sold this, so it's not a good time to buy it when we have when we have the amount of selling going up. As you can see in the volume is spiking up, but those are selling volumes, so we don't want to see that. In the other example with Tesla, the volume was going down, and that means that the sellers are running out of sellers. So with this one, what I would do with Pinterest, the way I would probably play this one for pins. Let me just put this in here. Pins is I would set the buy stop limit order for basically 28.49. I'm going to put this in here, 28.49, and then 10 cents above that at 28.59. So this is how I would play Pinterest. I want to basically set a limit order in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alert in here, basically at 28.59, and that's kind of where I want to possibly do. Well, did I do that right? No, I'm sorry. Let me change that. That was wrong. Let me edit that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I want to do that at 20. I'm sorry, 24. No, I'm sorry, 28.49. No, that's correct. 28.49 plus. Okay, 28.59. Okay, so that is correct. So where I want to put this, I want to order this 28.59. So hopefully that'll give us the right. No, it didn't quite. So where I want that to go that buy stop limit order. I'm just going to draw in my line here because for some reason that's not working. I want to buy it right as it's moving, right as it moves above this 28.49. That's where I want to buy it. So I'm going to set the alert on that line. And basically, I want to buy it as it's breaking higher. Right now, it's not. So Pinterest looks good, but I don't want to buy it because I want to buy it only as it's going higher. And I know this is kind of a strange way to look at it, but you want to buy a stock as it's moving higher. Because if it's moving lower, it sometimes will not stop. It'll just keep on going. But if it's moving higher, it's just like it will pop through the resistance and then hopefully move higher on you. So you'll be in a situation where you'll be making money hopefully right off the bat, and that's the key. All right. Thank you very much. Let's look at Roku, and this is also a really good question because I sold I had a very nice spread on Roku that I sold out of kind of by mistake, and it was I did make money on it, but but Roku I think is really a terrific stock. So let's put Roku in here. ROKU. And by the way, kind of incidentally, I don't know why I remember these things, but that means 6 in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese, but that's what I read. And the guy that founded it, very interesting guy, he had 6 other companies. It was his 6th company, 6 startups. So, it's not, they say 3rd time's the charm. Well, I think in the case of Roku, it's 6 times is the charm. But anyways, it's a terrific company. It's pulled back. It's pulled back down, and again, it is seeing some resistance. It is seeing some resistance here. We're starting to see a fair number of people selling off, so we still have to get rid of that overhead supply. There's not a lot of it, and what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to draw the line. You see this area here that's above where this line is? This is what they call overhead supply. Many times, people that buy it as it's going up and then reversing, they will not sell. They'll wait until it gets almost up to where they bought it, and then they'll sell that. And that's what they call overhead supply. That's why you have to punch through these. That's why typically you want to buy something as it's moving to a higher high. Right now, the buy point is 486.72. Right now, Roku is selling for 434. So it's got a little bit of ways to go. So right now, I wouldn't be a buyer because we're pulling back. But when this starts to reverse, and it will reverse higher, I do believe, that's when you want to buy it. You want to buy it on that reversible higher. So still a great stock. Probably not going to be ready to go before next week. So you kind of want to put that on a watch list. It's a very strong stock, and I think it's going to get even better. It's really good. They've really got an interesting franchise. Here's a question from Tech Talk, and it's a question on Coinbase. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I got into Coinbase right as it moved up, and then I sold out immediately. I did what I normally do when I think they're going to pop. I do the buy stop limit order, and then immediately when I get filled, I'm pushing that stop loss up. So let's kind of take a look and see kind of what's happened since I sold out. Now, I sold out basically as it moved to about where I sold out on the first day. Essentially, it was right about here. I didn't make a whole lot of money on it because I basically bought it at 400, and then as it moved higher, then I sold out. So this is a buy stop limit order, and then I had a stop loss. So I just basically made that $20 thing. It hasn't done as well since. As you can see, it's kind of moved down here. Now, the question is it going to get some support? Well, this is a classic what they call an IPO base. And this is one of the reasons why I like to wait at least 3 months before I buy something that's an IPO. 1, 2, 3. So we're kind of getting there. But what we want to see is we want to see this price come back up to about 308. If it comes up to about that level, that intermediate high, that's when I'm going to be interested in it. Right now, I probably would not be interested in this stock until it comes up to about 306. So that's kind of my answer to your question on Coinbase as to whether or not it might be it might be something that you want to that you want to be in. Bought Krispy Kreme at 16.48 and have been doing well, but I only bought it because my wife has me on a diet. That's great. And okay, you wanted some Krispy Kreme donuts. Okay, well, I can understand that. I totally can understand that. Krispy Kreme donuts are really great, and so buying it at 16, that's pretty darn good. Let's see. I'm going to go back to donut, DNUT. That's sort of a new issue. Of course, that's a new issue today. Well, it looks as if you got in at 16, that's pretty darn good. You must have gotten in at the right spot, because that looks like you're doing pretty good at 21. Here's what I would do if I was in donut and I was in at 16. I'd be pushing my stop loss up. I'd probably have my stop loss right now at 20. So if it pulls back, and it very well may pull back because it's adjusting, then I would be out at about 20. So consider putting in a stop loss at about 20 on that, and you consider putting in a stop loss on that. That would be a good place to be in a stop loss with. All right, let's look at Ricky and Torch, TRCH. Let's look at that, TRCH. And this is an oil and gas play, I believe. Am I right about that? TRCH? Goodness, why am I not getting that? TRCH. Well, I am not getting that symbol, unfortunately. I don't know why, because Roblox. Oh, hey! My 7-year-old made me out into his college fund. Okay, Matthew, this is interesting. Sometimes the way to get some of the best ideas are from your children, really, because they kind of know what's happening, and I'm really the first to admit that I don't know as much what's happening these days. I mean, I didn't even know about TikTok until I started doing this, so I didn't have a smartphone for years. Wow, look at Roblox. The thing about Roblox, it's a real good opportunity, but boy is it it's a very, like a lot of IPOs, this one is very, very volatile. So the question is, where do you want to buy it? It's off a little bit today. I'm just looking at this, if there's a place to buy this. IPO bases are tough to buy. I'll be honest. I like to see them at least 3 months. We're getting to that level, 1, 2, 3. So we've got about almost 3 months going there. Where would I buy this? Well, this is going to be a tough one to buy, but here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. And this is not very scientific, but what I'm going to do here is I'm drawing this line here. This is a reversal line, and this isn't exact, so this isn't exact science. What I would do here is I would set an alert on that reversal line. What I want to see is I want to see it move above this reversal line. So currently we're in a downward trend. All right, there is a buy point on the stock, but it's way over here, and that buy point, let's see if I can get a number for you. On an IPO base is 79.11 to 79.10, but it's currently extended. It's at 85.90. So here's what I would do. I think that really you've got to probably wait until it pulls back from about 79 up to about 83.41. That's probably where you want to buy it, but you want to buy it on a reversal. You want to buy it as it's reversing higher. So that's really tough, because after hours, we just went after hours, it's up a little bit. So here's the thing. You possibly could buy it at this reversal line, and if it reverses in the next few days, you're going to want to buy it maybe at about, if it moves above 90. But right now it's really tough to buy. I just would sit on this one for a little bit, wait for it to pull back to essentially this line here. This is the 50-day move. This is the 50-day moving average. There we go. This is the 50-day moving average right here. So let me give you. Let's put an alert on that 50-day, and hopefully, if I have enough bandwidth, I can do this. But that 50-day is right at about, is it about 83? So here's what I would do with Roblox. I probably would not do anything until it reversed off of a line. I think at about 82.50. That's kind of where I would be looking to enter it. So let's see what happens on tomorrow. See if it pulls back to this 50-day line, and see if it bounces there. If it does, that might be a place that you could buy it. This has been a very, very, very hot stock, and so I do think that this one has legs. So it's not, it could be possibly a good acquisition. I wouldn't buy this one right now. Wait for it to pull back to about 82.50. and that's going to give you probably a better look on that. But you definitely can do that. Don't put your don't put your kids' college don't put all of your kids' college funds in this. Please don't do this, because you could do very well, but you could also get, have a bad thing happen. So here's what I would do. If your kid's college fund is, let's say it's $8,000 right now, it's in a Coverdale or something like that, which essentially is an IRA. 1/8 of that is going to be about $1,000. You probably don't want to go in with any more than one half position. That's $500. If it's trading for about $85 a share, you're talking about 50 shares. So that's the thing. That's how to size the account. You don't want to go in too big, too small. But if you want to go into this one again, let it pull back. Let the stock pull back to about 82.50. Then and then see it bounce. And then on the bounce, you want to probably buy only if you have an $8,000 account. Let's just say you have an $8,000 Coverdale account for your kid. Then 1/8 of that, of course, is $1,000, and you don't want to go with any more than a half position. So that would be $500. Currently the stock is trading for $85 a share, so you're basically looking at about 50 shares, about 40 to 50 shares. So you don't want to go in with any more than that on an $8,000 account. So that's kind of my take on that. All right. Thanks, Dinesh. Let's look at MP. MP. And MT Materials. Okay. And they're rare earths. Interesting. Western Hemisphere. Okay. I don't know much about this one, but it's a mining stock, and mining stocks have been doing great, by the way. We are below the buy point, though. The buy point is 40.74 in this one. But we do have an upward trend. We have broken trend. So what I want to do here is kind of draw the trend line, and that's what I'm going to do here. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to go through the high points. As you can see, and this is really interesting how this works, but by drawing this line, you can see that it has reversed higher. So it's definitely, it's definitely reversed higher. So it's uncanny how well this works. But if you go to the top point, the high point of it, then the intermediate high, you draw a line through that. It's amazing how closely that will predict where it's punching through to the new level, and it's right about here, as you can see. Now we've moved above this intermediate high point, which is 37.29. We're above that. So right now this is buyable. Is starting to be buyable. Right? It wasn't really buyable before. It's starting to be buyable, and we have some nice accumulation going on down here with these blue bars. So there's accumulation going on. It's at an intermediate high. It's above the intermediate high, and it has reversed. So those are very good. Those are very good signs for this particular stock. So you could start acquiring this. Now, would I go in with a half position? No, I would go in with about a third of position, because it's still weak here. We want a pyramid into the full position, maybe going 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. That's probably the easiest way to go. So if you had an $8,000 portfolio and you divided it by 8, that would give you 8 full positions of $1,000 each. I wouldn't go in with any more than a third of that, or about $333. So if I divided $333 by 37, we would get approximately 100 shares, okay, on an $8,000 valuation portfolio. So what am I saying here? What I'm saying is that it has reversed. It's moving higher. It's in a good group, but this is not as strong a movement as I like to see. So we still have, companies that are piling in here. My suspicion is this is fairly highly. Yeah, they had some very good earnings. Their sales were up 189%. That's quarter over quarter. That's quarter over year. That same quarter, different years. Their profits were up 86%. So this is looking pretty darn good. This is a good chart. We've got 94% relative strength. We're in a very good group. Mining and metal ores, 26 out of 197. Now the problem with this group, and I've played in this group before, is that it is a little bit. It's obviously dependent on the price of materials, and as we saw with the lumber prices just recently, the price of some materials have been readjusting. So, I wouldn't go in as strong on this as probably a month or two ago, just because of that situation. But it's still a very strong group. So let's go. I just want to kind of see who the leaders are in this group. I think it's 23. Is that right? No, mining metal wars. There we go. 28. Okay, so this is group 28. So this is basically the chart of the entire group. So let's kind of look to see, what the big top stocks, who the big dogs are. Well, this copper company, this Erno Copper, Vale, they're both off their highs though. You can see they're off their highs. Let's look at Vale as opposed to the stock that we've been looking, as opposed to MP. So let's look at Vale. This is a Chilean company. It's a copper miner in in South America, and they are very. It's a very, very strong. This is probably, if you're looking for a play in the metals area, this is probably the better choice, because it's, first of all, it's a bigger company, but second of all, it's right at a buy point. There's a buy point of 2302 on it, and right now we're just below that. So this could be purchased. You could make the argument for buying this one now based on this chart pattern. This is sort of a mini double what they call double bottom chart. Even though it doesn't, even though my pattern recognition says it's different, it really is. This could be bought. The buy point on is 2302. We're right below that at 2211. So what I would do, Dinesh, I would take a look at comparing them both, MP and Vale. I think Vale is probably your better bet on this one. And the good point of it is you can get more shares because it is a low expense as well. All right, haven't talked about NEO yet. They're having a real good day though today. I want to cover NEO because everybody's very interested in the stock. And I have not been in it. I've been trying to figure out a place to get in it, but it pulled back. It pulled back today before close. It seems to be consolidating right around this in this area. Oops, let's put the price in there. It seems to be consolidating, right about this $50 level. So this seems to be a key level for it. It's at 50.70 right now, and this is looking good. I mean, this is looking good as a chart. It's reversed higher. That's why this reversal line is here. It's above the 200-day line. It's above the 21 days. It's above the 10-day line. The only other line that needs to move up, and so I would probably not buy it at this point. I'd probably wait until it goes just a tad higher. I've got an alert set. I've got an alert set up here. So let's take a look at that. I'm just going to edit it. I've got an alert set at 57.20. So on NEO, I would be looking for it to move above the buy point. That's 57.20 because you can see the old buy point over there. So I probably would not be a buyer of NEO until it moved above 57.20. But I think but you definitely want to watch this one. It's strong. It does have a relative strength line of 97, but as you can see, it peaked. So we have had some selling in here. So I just don't think you can. I don't know if this is tactically the right point to get into it. I'd wait until it was above 57.20 before I went into it, just because I think you're going to get a better fill there. I really think you have a better chance there. All right, which could be the best stock for tomorrow, as it is Friday? Well, I don't know, but I can find out. And let's take a look to see which stocks are basically near the pit. Now, there's 7 stocks here that I think we could look at possibly. So I'm going to kind of run through some stocks that are starting, or that are just have broken out, that we might want to take a look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over here. I'm going to look at about 7 stocks here that might fit the bill. All right, so this one probably not. So let's look at the next. Let's look at this one next. Okay. Frontier Communications, maybe. Let's go back to Frontier. Yeah. Okay, so this is Frontier. Not so much. It's got a buy point way up there, so not that one. Let's look at this one, Tangier Factory Outlets. I wouldn't go with that one either. Activewear. What I'm doing here is I'm just going down the list to see. These are the ones that are most active today. There's 7 of them that are basically, B. Riley Financial. That's the one I like. Okay, so if there's a stock that might be coming up on your radar, this is one I would possibly take a look at. It's called B. Riley Financial, and it's an investment bank, interestingly enough, and it's an improving area. It's right below the buy point. The buy point on this one is 78.95. So this is one that you might want to put on your watch list. It's very strong for financial. So B. Riley Financial, the symbol on it is RILY. RILY. So that one might be a possibility. Let's take a look at the next one here. This is one that I'm very, very interested in. I had a buy order on this one. I did not get a fill on this. This is Vizio. And, it's interesting. I actually knew somebody that worked for Vizio. Unfortunately, he died of cancer, and that's very sad. But then that was a few months ago. But this is an interesting company, Vizio. I don't know if you've been in any of the big box stores, but their television sets are very, very popular. Vizio, and they did IPO. It's looking pretty strong, actually. To be honest with you, I do want to see it. I do want to see it move above about 28.80 before I possibly would be a buyer. But I do think that this one, you might want to put it on your watch list. I wouldn't buy this one immediately. But I definitely think it should be on your watch list. VZIO. I had an order in on this was if it moved above 28.80. I had a buy stop limit order on it. It did not, so I haven't bought it. But this is one that you might want to look at. So that's a really good question. What am I looking at? You might want to put Vizio on your list, and B. Riley Financial. RILY is B. Riley Financial. Of course, that's an investment bank. And then Vizio, VIZO. VIZIO, that's how you spell it, but the symbol is VZIO. And of course, they make television sets, and they seem to be doing very, very well. They're kind of like a Roku-esque television set all in one. You turn it on, and it kind of spies on you. And see, it shows you what you're watching, and then they send it back to the advertisers, and then you get alerts on your iPhone. You're like, well, you get alerts for that porno site that you're looking at, and you wonder, how is this possible? My wife didn't think I was doing that. Well, Vizio knows, and that's how they do it. Anyways, so that's kind of my take on what you could do before Friday. All right, let's look at BBBY, and of course that's Bed Bath & Beyond, and a great place to buy stuff. I like Bed Bath & Beyond. This is sort of one of the Ape Army stocks. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ape Army, but they're basically the buy and hold folks, and I think it's great because, the short sellers have run amok, and I think they're trying to hold them in their place, and I think that's a really good thing. This company had some great earnings. It really did. Kind of want to highlight that here. We just went through earnings with Bed Bath & Beyond, and they came in very, very good. So let's go over here and kind of compare and show kind of where we're at. If you notice, through the pandemic here, all of these shares basically they lost sales, but boom, people really want to get out and change those bed sheets because their sales were up 49% for the quarter, and their profits, that's the most important thing, of course, is up 103. So this is looking very strong. This area, the retail segment of the economy, and of course I have retail shoe stores. I'm Shoe Carnival, and then I also have Nike, and I don't have Crocs though. I don't have Crocs, but for some reason shoes are doing really, really well right now. I don't know, summer, spring, people want to buy new shoes. Also, the retail sector and on the Bed Bath & Beyond it's a good one. It really is. And so this is a very nice chart. It's buyable. Really, it's buyable right now, believe it or not. It had very, very nice earnings, and it does look good. Now, it did spike up here. I think it's a little bit high. It's pulled back to 32.55. You could definitely go into this one. They had some very nice volume, and it's up 12%. So this is something that you might want to look into, Jose. I think Bed Bath & Beyond would be a good one. It definitely is watch list worthy at the very minimum, and this one might be buyable too because I'm just looking at some very good stuff here. Just kind of want to do the smell test on it. The only thing on the smell test, this is what I call the smell test, it's a little bit off its all-time high, but I think you could pass on that one, and the sales are doing better, but this is a little bit of a weak checklist, but the industry and sector is great, and we have a lot of funds in this. 493 funds are in this one, so a lot of funds. So this is looking very good. BBBY, I think it's a very good stock. based on the charts. I mean, I think it really, it really looks good. Um, all right, what does the small portfolio mean when you talk? Oh, sorry, I do. I talk a lot about this on the chat. What the small portfolio is that I have a little model portfolio that I try to put out there for everyone, and I update this all the time as I'm making trades. So what I want to show you is kind of what it is, and if you go to the I need to put up a thing where you can get a link to the small portfolio, but let me let me show you kind of what I'm talking about because it's kind of confusing. Um, I have this little small portfolio. This is an actual IRA. This is a small IRA that I trade, and it basically is a portfolio of stocks, and I show exactly how I'm trading it, if I'm up or down, and the whole thing. So this is the small portfolio as it stands now. Let's go to the window. There we go. All right, and basically what this is this is I trade this on every day, and I'm always updating it. So for last month, the small portfolio I made $1,581.41. That was my return. As you can see, these are the stocks that I bought and sold: Virgin Galactic, Colapart, Virgin Galactic again, Celsius, Whiting Petroleum, Matador, World Wrestling. Believe it or not, I lost 5% on the one. Ouch. Corsair Gaming. This is an oil company that I made a little bit of money on. Nvidia twice, and then of course I made a lot on Virgin Galactic. So this is how much I made for the last month trading this portfolio. Now the value of this portfolio is right here, and it shows it right here. The value of this portfolio currently is $16,250.12. So one full position in the small portfolio is 1/8 of that, or $2,031.27. Currently, these are my holdings in the small portfolio, and right now, as you can see, I tell you, the stock market is very strange because it is the 80-20 rule to the very max. That's why I have 8 positions, by the way. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your profits are going to be made for 20% of your stocks. Now look, right now I've made most of my money in DocuSign. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. It's up from when I bought it 28 days ago. It's up 19%, and I've made $679.57. Now, of course, this changes. This also shows here where my stop losses are. Okay, I've set my stop losses at these numbers. Okay. Oops. There we go. At these numbers. So this is where my stop loss is. So if it falls below $270 on DocuSign, I'm going to be sold out. As you can see, if this stop loss is triggered, I will make a gain of approximately 16%, 15.99, and my size. That's why the size of this portfolio is much larger than it normally would. Normally, I'd only have a 100% there, but I have a double size. I have a double helping of this. Why? Because it's doing so well. What I tend to do is I put 8 or 9 stocks in here, and I kind of let them duke it out and battle for the top position, and then if they drop off here, I get rid of them, and then if they do better, they move up to the top. So that's how I do it, and it's a kind of a good idea to see kind of what I'm trading. So that is the small portfolio. I need to put a link in so you can get that. I have to update that. But if you're on the Action Trade Alerts, what I'm going to do is probably send out a link to everybody that's on the Action Trailer so you can actually see this. And that's a very, very good question. I really appreciate that. But this is how I'm trading, and you don't have to trade like I am, but I have had I've had some pretty good success on it. So that's kind of a way to go. All right. Well, thank you for Nvidia too. Thank you for getting in it. Stocks move up a lot. Should we close it down? Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about spreads, and this thing. If you've made more than about 80% of the money on it, you might consider closing it down early. Okay, so I think I sent out a little link to the slide deck that'll show you the expected values for that Nvidia trade. Go and take a look and kind of look at the top number in there and see what the top number is on there. Let me see if I can pull that up and kind of give us an idea of kind of where we should possibly be closing that particular trade. So Again, this is one of the reasons I put out these decks so that we can kind of take a look and see. I think there it is. That's the bull put spread. Yeah. So let's go to the bull put spread. What I'm going to do here is see if I can go through here and kind of get an idea of sort of where we're at. So I'm going to go here to this is the 4-for-1 bull put spread, and let's see, we're all the way in July, so it's July 1st. So let's see, what is Nvidia trading for right now? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to have to take a look and see. I'm going to go to my chart here. Hold on. I'm going to look for Nvidia. And what we're doing here is we're looking to see if it's a good time to close the spread. Okay, the after hours price, it closed at 808.48. So let's go back to the deck here and look at July 1, and then let's go down here to 808. So, oh goodness gracious, guess what? We're all the way up to the top here. We should have made about, if we had done this exactly as I published it, we should be up about $1,950 on this trade. So we've done pretty darn good. As a matter of fact, the top that we could possibly make on this would be $2,000. So it's probably a good time to be closing that trade right now, because not to get piggy, you never want to get too piggy because you'll lose. But this is looking pretty darn good. So right now it actually went off the chart. So it's actually at 808 here, and so it's somewhere up here. But basically this is about the top that we're going to make on this, because remember when we opened it, and I'm going to go to the other slide here, this trade cost us about it took 2,000 to get into this trade. It looks like we have made a very good trade on this one, because we've already made $1,900 on this one. So it's probably a good time to close this trade. So congratulations for making all that money, all that loot. So I'm glad, and hopefully the other people out there made the loot as well. By the way, if you want to get on the Action Trader list, and I'm trying to put out a lot of this stuff. I don't put all of these out on the Action Trader list. You really have to be in the private Discord service for that, but I do put some of the trades out there. So to get on that Action Trader Alerts list, you need to be signed up, and it's at www.sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So that's good where to get on those. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, this was a terrific trade that we put out, and I think we did put this one out on the Action Trader Alerts. A lot of the people that were in this trade, they made, like $2,000. Well, $1,950. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And they've been in this trade a little bit more than 60 days. So this could, as I say, this could be you. And the way you can do that is go to my profile, click the link, and then I need the first and last name and then an email address, and then you'll be signed up for that. Just show everybody over, and I guess to show them on the kind of how it looks on the beacons page. So let me just see if I can put that up here. But you can also do this too. Let's see. All right. Well, maybe you can't do this. I guess not. Oh well. I'm doing too many things here. I'm doing too many things at once. But anyways, if you want to get that, and you're on TikTok, you can just jump on over to my profile, click the link, and then first and last name and an email address. And of course, that's free. We do have the paid Discord service too, and that's where we give all the trades, and we basically are online all day on that one. That's a good one too. But if you just want to get started, kind of put your toe in the water. Go to the Action Trader Alerts, and that's at sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. All right, so let's take the next question. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Hey, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate this. Here's the thing about reverse splits. I talked initially about splits and how great an opportunity they can be if they're forward splits. If you have one share and it goes to more shares, that could be a really good opportunity. Reverse splits are not so much. I don't like reverse splits typically, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate the small stockholders. There's way too many shares, and basically I don't think they're great opportunities, to be honest with you. Now, there is an exception on that, and that's GE. It's doing reverse split. But most of the time, I am not a fan of reverse splits. I don't think that they are a good thing, because basically they're saying, give me 100 shares and I'll give you back 10 maybe. So I don't like that. That doesn't say that it's going up and down, up in price, up in value. It says it's going down. So I really don't like that. So I think you ought to be very careful when it comes to reverse splits. Even though it is an oil and gas company, and it did have this blow off top. I think you got to be a little bit careful. I do think that there are better options than this one in the oil and gas area. Now, as you know, I like the oil and gas area. It's the #1 area. So I just think you ought to be careful in this area. I think it's better to go for the big boys. I like Denbury, of course, Bonanza, and Matador. Unfortunately, none of these are in a good area to be buying, but there is one that is, and that's Fang, and that's the one you want to look at. Probably, even though it's extended, I think that Fang is looking pretty darn good. It's a little bit high for me. I wish it hadn't. Buying this extended could be dangerous, so I wouldn't buy this immediately. But this is one you want on your watch list. It's called Fang. Also, let's see and basically what I'm doing here is I'm looking for setups. Bonanza Creek was looking pretty good too. No, it's too high. You can't really buy this one either. I just got to find one that is going to work, just based on this. I was in Matador. I got sold out of it. Did very well on it, but it's extended too. So, your best bet is instead of MMAT, take a look at Fang. I think you might be happy with that. All right, Jay. Thank you very much for Apple. Apple is just moving up very nicely. I only have the spread on this one. I don't have the physical shares anymore. I did sell them, probably by mistake, but I did sell them. But I do have a spread on this. It's doing extremely well, I have to say. Apple is right at a buy zone. It's at 137.31. So right now, and this is key, I think you want to, you kind of want to do this one. So Apple is a buy right now at 137.31. So I definitely think you can buy Apple right now at this price. And I'm just going to put it up there. So I definitely think you can buy Apple right now at this price. I think it's excellent. Of course, it's Apple. I mean, of course it's great. Of course it's great. But the chart pattern is very well set up. It's making an intermediate high. So it's a green light for Apple right now. Good time to buy Apple. It's also a good time to buy Microsoft, but Apple right now is set up very, very nicely. So if you were to buy Apple at these levels, I think that would be a very good buy. But remember, don't go in too heavy. Possibly, with Apple, you could probably go in with a full position right at the get-go. But you don't want to go with more than maybe one position on this one. You really don't. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jeet. I apologize for skipping you. So let's go back and see if I can get your question back. So sorry about that. So let's go back up here. There we go. Sorry for skipping you. Sometimes I mess up. CLAR. Let's take a look at it. CLAR. All right, and this is interesting. Develops, manufactures, and distributes outdoor equipment. Good area, by the way. Really, really good area, Jeet. Is the outdoor area. This is a very good. Leisure products are a very good area. This is good. It's pulled up. It doesn't have an actual cup, but this is looking very strong. Yeah, this is looking very strong. It had some very nice action there. Since then, this one itself. So I think definitely a green light on this one. Definitely a green light on this one. I would probably set a buy stop limit order on this one at about 26.70 plus 10 cents, or about 26.72. That's probably where I would be at this one. It looks as if and I'm just trying to draw a trend line in here to see. Okay, so this is sort of the slope. Remember that from high school, right? This is sort of the slope, so it's recovering back to this line. So potentially, potentially we could see a very nice slope on this one if it comes back to its normal slope. So yeah, this is definitely a buy. You could buy this one right now. CLAR looks pretty good to me based on that chart. All right. And I think we did look at Roku. Let's see. All right, question. Oh, hey, thanks, Polly. This wasn't pins you were looking at. Oh, it was India ETF. I'm sorry. Let's look at Pinterest. I apologize. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for clarifying that for me. And there we go. Pinterest. Okay, Pinterest has a double bottom pattern. Oops. I'll have it here in a second. We have a little bit of, there we go. Little volume. Okay, we have a double bottom, which is an excellent pattern. We're almost at the reversal line. This is the reversal line here. You could make an early buy on this one, but here's the thing. I would probably wait to buy this on a buy stop limit order, and I would wait until we got to 83.50. So here would be my strategy for buying Pinterest, and I do think it is buyable. But I think we want to wait and buy it on strength. So basically, what I would do is set. This is how I would buy Pinterest. I want to see it move above this reversal line, and the reason I do is because that will show that it has strength coming in. Also, you want to look at the volume. Right now, I kind of want to see a little bit more volume than's going on right now. Right now, we have good volume, but it's not great volume. If it's above that red line, that's great volume there. So I want to see some more volume in this, but that's kind of why I think you got to wait until it moves beyond this reversal line. And that reversal line right now is basically at 83.50. So above 83.50, I think that's where you probably want to. I'm sorry. I have the wrong infos. Let me check. I gave you the wrong. I gave you the wrong information. I apologize for this. I did not update it properly. The where you want to buy this. The way you want to buy this. Let's go in here and edit it. Is basically at 83.50 plus 10 cents or 83.60. So that's really this is really a strategy that you could probably use. Oops, this is probably a strategy that you could probably use on Pinterest, and that would be to buy it as it moves above this 83.50. That's this line here. Okay, it moves just above that, 10 cents above that on strength. That's kind of where you want to buy it. So where I think that you want to buy the stock, let me see if I can. There we go. Where we want to buy it is we want to buy it right as it comes above that line. There. And I think that's going to give you a really nice fill. But it's a great company, and it definitely is set up very nicely. So thanks for that question, and thanks for being patient with me. I appreciate that. Let's look at Palantir. I was in Palantir. I got shaken out. I have not been back in, but it had an incredible. Apparently, it had an incredible sales number that came out. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart and kind of look at it, see if there's any place that we can kind of get back in this one. I have this alert set on it. I'm basically looking possibly to start a position. I would go with any more than about a half a position if it moves above about 28.50. That's kind of where I would be looking. That's kind of where I'd be looking to be in it. But that would be a very, very good number for that. Well, I have come to the end of the hour, and I thank you everybody for bearing with me. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be back right at hopefully right at 2:30. I'm going to be off. I'm not going to be broadcasting on Monday because it is the 4th of July holiday here in Texas. So I'm going to be off. But on Tuesday we'll be back at 2:30. Thanks again for everyone taking a look, and also just wanted to mention again, if you didn't get that address for the free action trade alerts, that could be a very good thing, and that's basically www.senfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So until till tomorrow at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. Happy trading.